Well, it's kind of been unfortunate for Orlando, but he's probably better known here, or as well known here as he is back home. And I don't mean back home in Laredo, Texas, but in the United States. And, yeah, there have been a lot of good fighters who have made a better living here in Europe than they did in the U.S. In fact, even as good a fighter as Mike McCallum has fought many times here and has a big following in Paris.
Sam Smith along with Wally Matthews. We greet you at ringside here at the Casino Royal in Evian, France. A beautiful setting for a fight, and you can hear a very appreciative crowd waiting for the main event. You know, looking at the tail of the tape, in numbers-wise, it's almost like a mirror effect. Bones Adams comes in. He's 5'5", both at 118. Of course, the age is the big difference, and we'd like to kind of expand on that a little more. 18 years old. Adams, once again, having an opportunity to come in, and 27 for Canizales. So that weight difference is going to be one of the things to watch.
Well, you know, the thing is, Bones Adams told us that he likes to beat up old people, and he considers Canizales an old person. I mean, the guy's old, 27. He's not old, but in terms of boxing, he has been around for a long time. And at some point, a fighter of Canizales' age will start to show some effect. Obviously, Bones Adams and his people think that now's about that time. I don't happen to be in agreement with that. But that's one of the things they're banking on to help Bones Adams tonight.
Well, we're going to have an opportunity to take a look at Bones Adams. Adams is 18 years of age, and he's a youngster that's come a long, long way. He has not lost a professional fight in 27 fights. Let's take a close look at the young man that fights for a world title tonight against Canizales.
18-year-old Clarence Bones Adams is a brash, confident fighter that has the skills of a much more experienced boxer. Turning pro at the age of 15, after winning 98% of his 176 amateur fights, Adams is unbeaten in 27 fights as a professional. Every fighter has a dream, and young Bones has already made a move towards his goal, getting a shot at a world championship.
I didn't start really thinking about being a world champion. I mean, I always wanted to be world champion, but you really don't think about it until I got, you know, I won the WBC Continental Americas. And then I got ranked up in the world ratings in the top 5. And right then, that's when I really seriously thought about it, and I knew that's what I wanted.
The Adams camp has taken that desire one step further. And with their forecast there for all the world to see, Bones now has to concentrate on beating a man that should mirror his aggressive style.
We're about the same fighter. He's one of the great ones, pound for pound. He's ranked number 4. And hopefully, I'm trying to get up there because I know that I'm just as good or better than him. Orlando is an all-around fighter. He can box and he can punch, so that's what I'm getting ready for. Anything that he throws at me, I'm going to throw, you know, something right back at him.
Bones is hoping to become the world champion at age 18. The youngest champion since Wilfredo Benitez of Puerto Rico won the title 6 months before his 18th birthday in 1977. If determination is any yardstick, Adams will be ready for his championship shot at Orlando Canizales.
Because I want it, and I'm more determined than ever. And I may never get another chance to fight for a world title. And especially, you know, I may fight somebody that, you know, loses it, you know, his first defense, but I want to fight someone and beat him to where, you know, they say, hey, look, he beat one of the greatest.
Well, a good look at Bones Adams, the young man that indeed will be in this fight tonight with the champion of the IBF division, Orlando Canizales, out of Laredo, Texas. And Wally Matthews, one of the things that Adams says he still feels that Canizales is still a very strong fighter, but the one thing he says he's slowing down. I'm not sure that Canizales buys that.
Well, you know, if you look at Canizales' last fight, he had to go the distance with Samuel Duran. You can maybe look at that and say the guy is on his way over the hill, but I'll tell you what, Canizales to me is one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound. Bones Adams has not beaten anybody remotely in the caliber of Canizales. He might be a phenom, and he might be as talented as his family thinks and hopes that he is. If so, we're going to see a good fight. But right now, to me, it's almost a boy against a man.
Well, that man happens to be Orlando Canizales. His older brother, Gabby, was a former world champion and really helped Orlando as they came along. A great brother-to-brother relationship. Let's take a close look at the champion of the IBF division.
The 28-year-old IBF bantamweight champion, Orlando Canizales, grew up on the Texas-Old Mexico border in Laredo, Texas, where he earned his status as the best bantamweight in the world. Orlando trained in the shadow of his brother, Gabby, a former world champion, and has developed the strength and the stamina to break the bantamweight record for title defenses, standing at 10 and counting. With that kind of past history, there's one thing you know. Canizales will be ready for Bones Adams.
I get ready for every of my title fights. You know, there's no exception on my, I don't take nobody lightly. Every title defense, it gets harder and harder. But, this won't be an exception. I train real hard for this fight, and I'm sure he'll be well prepared for this fight. He's been waiting for a long time for this fight, and he moves around a lot. He's jabbed real good. He's pretty quick with his hands. He's got good foot speed. So, it will be an interesting fight.
Canizales has compiled an impressive 33 1-1 record with 25 knockouts. And he's held the IBF bantamweight title since beating Kelvin Seabrook in July of 1988. Orlando has had 6 knockout wins in his 10 title offenses, but has also shown his staying power by going the distance, including his last win over Samuel Duran back in September. This will be Canizales' 4th fight in Europe and his 3rd in France. But as he sets goals for the future, he knows fighting around the world is part of the territory as a champion.
Being a world champion, you got to fight all over the world to prove yourself that you're the best in the division and the best in the world. And so this is part of it. I mean, I don't feel like I'm fighting in his hometown. It's a neutral site. I want to keep on defending my titles, and so nobody can break my record. So I want to keep on defending them as many times as I can. And then hopefully, within maybe can wait, who knows, and hopefully another goal of mine is to defend my titles, and hopefully that will come around sometime soon.
A high color. There's the numbers for you as, again, Orlando Canizales gets ready to meet Bones Adams in this fight tonight. There was an interesting undernote on this fight, Wally Matthews, and that's the fact that Junior Jones was the #1 contender in this IBF bantamweight division, but he was offered the fight but turned it down against Orlando Canizales. Interesting turn.
It's a young man that I know quite well from Brooklyn, New York, and he's an excellent fighter, being carefully managed. And I got to tell you something. If I had a bantamweight and there were 3 champions out there, this guy would be #3 on my list.
There's a good look at Orlando Canizales and the man fighting him across the way, Bones Adams. Adams, their very, very illustrious record as you see it there. Pro debut, age 15. Against Sam Black, he won in 4 rounds. He was fighting at 130 pounds. He's 118 right now. And one of the things to consider there is that he said, what was it like being a teenager fighting a man, as you ask him? He said, I loved every minute of it.
That's right.
Certainly enjoyed the win.
He said, I kind of like beating up those old people, which made you and I uncomfortable because we're both older than Sam Black.
Exactly. He also said, I enjoy knocking people down, too. And that man, I started getting really upset. This is round 1 of the IBF World Bantamweight Championship on the Cedric Kushner Sports Network from Evian, France. And quickly, Bones Adams out against the champion.
And a lot of his fight plan, Sam, banks on that left jab, which is very, very quick. Bones Adams not a devastating puncher, but if he gets that jab going, he can make things very difficult for Canizales.
One of the things, keep in mind that Adams says he feels very comfortable backing up. Canizales would like to back him up all night, but Adams right now seems the man coming ahead. Canizales, again, there's that straight right hand. Backs up Adams for a moment. Adams with a lunging left hand. You could hear on the feature that we did earlier how crispy he hits the bag, makes a very good, solid punch.
Well, that's what he's been known for, even in his young career here, is his fast hands, crisp combinations. Like I said, not a killer puncher, but a good, sharp puncher. And if you land enough of those, they can have an effect even on a guy like Canizales.
Bones, a very, very polished fighter, started at the age of 5. 172-4 his record, and Adams looping right hand as Canizales got inside on him.
And if you heard that, there was a response from the fans there because Bones Adams landed a good right hand and they made Canizales miss, and they were very appreciative of that move.
Canizales came right back inside that time and landed a right hand, and the crowd reacted justly so. So both fighters will be applauded. 2 Americans fighting way away from home in Illinois and Texas. They fight here tonight in France. Adams 2 years ago saw Canizales in a fight and said, I would like to fight him. His father said, don't be stupid. That was a fight against Eddie Rangel, a young man from San Antonio. It was a war, and at that time Adams says, I can beat him. And tonight he gets his opportunity to try.
I have noticed that his father no longer thinks it's stupid to be in here fighting Canizales. He has come around to this point of view.
I think he checked the bank account, what it would do if he came up with a victory tonight. By the way, Bones has made, they were shooting a French film at the hotel we're staying in, the beautiful Royal Hotel here in Evian, and they were shooting a French film, and they had some youngsters in it, and boy, they just latched onto Bones, made immediate friends with Bones. Some of the
they-
bright young stars here in France.
They weren't very far away from his age.
That's true. 18 years of age and fighting for a championship. He, by the way, I understand, would be the youngest American to win a title if he should win one tonight. Did we decide that was correct?
We think it's correct.
Okay.
In fact, I think the only man younger to have won a world title if Bones Adams goes on to win is Wilfred Benitez, who was about 17 and I believe 6 months old when he beat Cervantes many years ago. I believe 1976.
77, I believe, was the year.
77.
Yep, but great memory right off the top of your head on that one. Right hand by Canizales. Adams got hurt there for a minute.
And Adams was 3 years old when that fight took place. And he remembers it.
He probably does.
George Foreman! Not to Canizales, but Superior in general. Very quick reactions.
Round 2 of a scheduled 12-round championship fight from Evian, France. The champion in the blue, Orlando Canizales. His challenger, 18-year-old Bones Adams. Orlando landing some punches in round 1, but Adams also took his measure of the champion and on the unofficial card won it here at ringside. Canizales again.